seem to be road systems. All around is desolate. Earth time 2015. Hey everybody, ModelMan here. Jupiter 2 FlightLog 40. It's time to start thinking about the base. So for the last months, if not years, I've been struggling with that back room there, and having gotten it to that stage, I want to pause and take a breath. And with the electronics over there, I gotta do a little tweaking and see what could be going on with that. So I'm turning my focus over to here. This is a 24-inch pine round with a Lazy Susan underneath it. And this is just a test mock-up of a potential background. You could do a night version with moonlight instead of sunlight. And there's another option I'm thinking about as well. So with the other aspects of the build sitting where they are, I need to start knowing where this is electronically going to go. From previous videos, you'll have seen that the wiring is going to go through the legs, and I created special legs for that. And if I'm doing a crash scene, well, you don't need the legs because then it's going to suddenly rise off of the surface here and not be a crash level. What I'll be doing is having a false floor for the desert. So it will be sitting on its feet like this, just above, and then the back wall print there will be raised accordingly. And if I can do any little build out in the front here of the little desert, maybe a little, I'll be doing that as well. Going to a 36-inch pine round would probably be the best bet for getting overall everything, but that's pretty freaking huge. Another option I had thought of is to get a 24-inch hemisphere, bisect that, keep one half back there, and then do a painting from on the inside. Maybe even light it from the back. So right now this is just held on with tape and not even all that well. And the final photo itself would be a full single print at, this is 34 inches, so the final would be full 36 inches. Main thing to worry about is how much viewing angle to get from here before the wall blocks it, and then from over here to see inside of that. And then of course positioning it specifically so that we get as much front area here as possible. And it can go all the way to the back, I don't mind that. But it shouldn't quite touch. So exactly how I'm going to get all that engineering, we'll figure out as we go. I think one of the first steps is going to be getting the landing gear going. And that means painting the hull and installing any wiring in there and pretty much bringing it up to spec. Something I haven't really dealt with in quite a while. So what kind of lighting is in there? There's actually quite a lot. Lighting this bottom area was one of the very first things I did, and I cut tubes into, there are 4 wall designs here, cutting brass tubes that were about 1 inch long, an LED at each end. Looked really nice. It was kind of a fluorescent greenish white, and it looked beautiful in the bays. But doing further research, I realized that the little round devices that used to be in here, and where there are now 2 and a single drill hole, are 5mm, are on the set at least, the lights themselves. So they are best replicated with 5mm straw hat. Probably warm white LEDs is what I'm going to go with, just to keep it soft. I may still include the LEDs that are already bundled into the side pieces. We'll see about that. And yeah, there's these 2 little LEDs for the elevator, staircase, ladder area. And then, having torn out the old freezer wall area, this is the replacement. It's new super density LED tape from modelersbrand.com. And instead of 36 LEDs to the foot, it's 63. So this is going to be a very good light dispersion option overall, and I'll need another little segment over here to make sure I got full coverage. Freezer walls end here, and then this guy is in the way for complete lighting. So that's pretty much it. Well, that's pretty much it. Well, that's still a lot, and there's always the sequencer in the middle too. So let's get into it. Alright, and here are all the notes that I've got on the Jupiter as of now. I'm going to make a new list, probably for Flight 41, because there's a new set of issues and situations that are going on. So I don't need this one, or this one, or this one. The landing ramp at the airlock will become important, so we'll keep this one in mind. Going to be dealing with lighting the base, so this one is going to be important. And the landing struts are definitely important. And over here on my overall notes, which is both sides, diorama, wire the base, landscaping, sand, rocks, support structure, background wrap. So that's the only thing I've really done any time on, and I think I'm forgetting a few things there as well. But we'll also be throwing in the lower hull into that, so let's get into it. I think the bottom is all ready to go. There's going to be some spray painting going on. There's some electronics to install here, and then all the supporting material is right here. So my original measurements on the landing struts from the model kit go to K&S brass 127, 28, and 29, or aluminum 102, 3, and 4, and that'll be the dimensions that'll match the actual model kit piece. Super density LED strip for the freezer wall, the underside lighting, and this will actually block all the flashing lights coming off of the sequencer once that's installed there. And then a bin full of plastic, all painted and should be ready to go, but obviously everything will be getting a second look before anything happens at all. I've already noticed that I may want to repaint the undersides of the landing bay there. And here's a perfect example of the copper wire not being painted. I don't know if I'll leave it that way or not. I probably should paint it, I suppose. All of the legs, rather I should say all of the leg struts and pieces, and everything pretty much should be ready. On that side of things. So over here it looks like what I have to do first is the wiring, which is installing the LEDs down in here on each of those, installing the freezer wall, and this light for the stairwell shaft, or the ladder rather. So I guess let's get into that.